A Florida woman attacked a manager after not getting her Raising Cane's sauce. A Florida woman was arrested in Australia for smuggling a golden gun in her luggage. A Florida police office say that anyone who bought their crack doesn't have to stay in jail. A Florida man was arrested for slapping his Florida girlfriend in the face with a Florida cheeseburger. These are the weird stories for Friday. They're all from Florida, because on Friday, it's only weird news from Florida on Weird AF News. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. A Florida woman went into a rage in a Raising Cane's fast food place because she didn't get her Raising Cane's sauce. Are you guys familiar with Raising Cane's? It's a fast food chicken spot. It's pretty good. You could find Raising Cane's locations all across the U.S., from my understanding. This lady got upset about her Raising Cane's sauce. It's an okay sauce. I mean, it's not no Chick-fil-A sauce, you know. If this was Chick-fil-A sauce, I can kind of understand her, losing her mind. And if it's McDonald's sweet and sour sauce, oh man, get out of my way. This story's out of Largo, Florida. Sounds like a lovely place. A Florida woman became enraged because she did not get sauce from Raising Cane's. She was arrested after confronting the manager at the fast food restaurant, according to the police. The Largo police said Florida woman Mackenzie Keeling, big fan of the Raising Cane's sauce, age 31. Mackenzie became very upset and angry after placing a mobile pickup order and discovering that she was missing 8 packets of Raising Cane's sauce. Oh, there's a photo of our lovely Florida woman that's a big fan of the sauce. Yeah, she looks like a sauce addict, among other things, I'd say. Can you trust women with blue hair? I'm just wondering that. Again and again, I'm finding women with blue hair seem to be out of their minds for some reason. Does that hair dye cause brain damage? That's what I want. This is Florida, though. There's probably some meth involved. Okay, back to the story. Let's get some more info on this Florida lady, sauce boss. Police say that she called the restaurant and said she was returning to come back and pick up the sauce that she needed. She arrived at the Raising Cane's restaurant, and the police claim, quote, the victim, who's the manager at this location, greeted the defendant with the blue hair, inquired how she could assist the defendant. The defendant requested her missing sauce, which the victim provided. Then the defendant requested some additional sauces for free for wasting her time and her gas, to which the victim, the manager of the Raising Cane's, politely declined. Well, in hindsight, the manager probably should have just gave her some extra sauce and maybe a free soda or something. I would have given her something for free for sure. I don't know, maybe they have a sauce shortage over there at Raising Cane's and they couldn't, but then you could have just explained that. Sorry, man, we have a sauce shortage around here, so we're giving you 8, which is quite a bit. That's the largest sauce haul of the day from our particular location. We're just kind of running out of the stuff. People seem to like it, although it's very easy. You can make it at home. If you just Google it, it's ketchup, mayo, garlic powder, black pepper, and a little bit of just a dash of Worcestershire sauce. If you can you say Worcestershire sauce? I mean, that's the real challenge here. I mean, just give the lady something. After all, this is people in Florida. They're completely unhinged, and they have access to firearms. Usually, they're in their waistband of their shorts underneath their mesh shirt. Right next to the baby alligator that's tucked in there too. Okay, the suspect then demanded to know the manager's name after being refused the Raising Cane's juice. The manager refused to tell her the name. Officers say that's when the Florida woman, the sauce boss, became very hostile. With her blue hair, she was verbally and physically assaulting, yelling in the restaurant, and disturbing the staff and the customers. It doesn't say who she assaulted. You just got to assume it's everybody, because the sauce boss is out of her mind when she doesn't get her sauce. According to the affidavit, the defendant then shot out her right hand with force that struck the victim in her right thigh. Well, that's a strange shot to the thigh. Sometimes it can be effective, though. I don't know if you've ever played Mortal Kombat. Sometimes a low kick, those are good moves. The defendant utilized this force and momentum to pull the victim's lanyard that contains the victim's employee card and keys to the restaurant and is attached to the victim's belt loop on her right hip, away from the defendant, attempting to temporarily deprive the victim of the property when in the course of the attempt there was force, violence, battery, and the victim was in fear. That was very clinical, that explanation in this article. She was trying to grab the lanyard, it sounds like, to see what the manager's name was, because she refused it. And police say the workers at the restaurant witnessed this attack, and it was all caught on surveillance video, and the Florida woman with the blue hair and the penchant for Raising Cane's sauce has been arrested and charged with strong arm robbery. Strong arm robbery. That sounds pretty intense. In her defense, though, the cups at Raising Cane's do say right on there, raise a little cane. So, she raised a little cane for not getting some cane sauce. The weird news. I love you. You're the news. News for me. Wow, wow, wow. A Florida woman was caught in an Australia airport with a golden gun inside her luggage. This Florida woman flew to Australia with a gold-plated pistol inside her luggage. She's been sentenced to a year in jail, despite claiming that she brought it with her for protection. Yeah, I don't think that's enough to get you out of that. No, it's fine. It's for protection. You might want to read up on the gun laws in Australia. They did away with that years and years ago. Yeah, the Aussie gun control is some serious business. They had a mass shooting, and then, unlike the U.S., these lawmakers actually did something more than just handing out thoughts and prayers. Yeah, very strict gun laws over there. And just FYI, as a side note, the experiment is working. So if you need an example of some gun law parameters, maybe look to this place for our safety and for the lives of our children going forward. I would. But then again, I'm not a lawmaker. Back to the Florida woman here that didn't do her Googling. Liliana Goodson is her name. She pleaded guilty to charges of illegally importing an unauthorized firearm and illegally importing ammunition. The 30-year-old was sentenced in Sydney's Downing Centre local court to a 12-month jail term, of which 4 months will be served in full-time custody. So I'm not sure how long she intended on spending time in Australia on this vacation, but it's going to be a longer one. Goodson was taken into custody immediately following the hearing. She was initially arrested at Sydney Airport in April after customs officers uncovered the 24-carat gold-plated pistol worth about $3,000 in her luggage. Wow, sounds like a collector's item rather than something you would use for defense. It says here, Goodson had come to Australia to attend clown school and claimed she brought the gun for protection. Clown school, huh? I didn't know Australia was the destination for clowning. Oh, man. And I had no idea that clowns can afford gold-plated guns worth thousands of dollars. I'm in the wrong niche, I think. I'm in the comedy world, but maybe I ought to look into clowning. Can that really pay the bills? I was unaware. Well, this woman definitely deserves an honorary degree from this clown school because this is a legendary clown right here. This clown behavior. Are there no clown schools in Florida? I'm just wondering, right? It's like you could have just went to FSU, I think, with the other clowns. All right. It says here that the clown lady Goodson searched online whether she was allowed to bring the weapon into Australia. She did make the search. All right. Well, it would have told you that this ain't okay. This despite telling officers at the time that she forgot she had it with her. When asked at the airport if she was carrying any prohibited items with her, Goodson claimed she was not, the court was told. She was asked by a customs officer, "What about the gun in your bag?" She replied, "Oh, yeah, forgot about that gun." Sure. A review of Goodson's phone reveals she searched online, quote, "Can I have a gun in my suitcase?" And then she set a calendar entry with a note reminding her to, quote, "Put the gun in the suitcase." Yeah, it's leaving a nice trail. The magistrate said there was a strong need to deter others from committing similar offenses in the future, which could only be achieved by way of a period of incarceration for this dumb Florida lady. The prosecutors submitted convincingly that the gun looks particularly confronting and would, quote, terrify members of our community. Goodson told police she was actually, quote, scared of shooting the gun and hoped simply producing it would be enough to deter potential threats. From what? You're going to Australia, not downtown L.A. Here's another quote from Goodson. "If that didn't do it, I would probably just pistol whip someone." This lady's out of her mind. Oh, and the photo of her confirms that. Oh, boy. Wow, it looks like she's got tattoos all over her face. Is that for the permanent clown look she's going for here? All of this is out of control. This sounds like a movie of some sort, like a James Bond film. Florida woman with a golden gun, or clown lady with the golden gun goes down under. Can we come up with any more? Lastly, I'll just say this. You can take the Florida woman out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the Florida woman. Does that make sense? I think so. Down under. A Florida county says they will vacate convictions for people who bought crack made by the sheriff's office. For 3 years, the Broward County, Florida Sheriff's Office produced its own crack cocaine. True story. Florida Sheriff's Office produced its own crack cocaine for 3 years. They had a crack producing laboratory. They did this so they could sell it to people that deputies would then arrest for buying crack cocaine. Sounds like a little bit of an entrapment here. Wow, man, just when you thought you've heard everything. Coming out of Florida, the police department's making their own crack. Imagine that assignment. Yes, Officer Wriggles, you'll be cooking some crack today. Ooh, crack duty again? Whee! That's some solid police work, am I right? This was the practice, apparently, that the Florida State Supreme Court repeatedly described as outrageous in its ruling that such reverse stings violated an individual's right to due process. All right, now just to be clear, this took place, this Operation Make Crack at the police headquarters and sell it on the streets to arrest people. This took place in the 90s during the years of when crack was very popular. But a Supreme Court described this activity as outrageous in the ruling, and they were doing a reversal here because hundreds of those arrests and convictions are actually still on the books and part of people's criminal records, and they're going to take that off the records. They're going to redact and vacate the convictions. I believe that's the language that's being used here. A few days ago, the state attorney for the county, Harry Pryor, said that his office is going to do something about this, declaring, quote, "It is never too late to do the right thing. These records may be a dim memory or an unfortunate part of history for many, but they have had a long-lasting and severe impact on the lives of the people who were arrested, as well as their families and the wider community as well. In many cases, this could affect their ability to get a job, to find a home, or impact them when they're appearing in criminal history checks. Anyone who thinks they may be affected by this effort is asked to reach out to the Broward State Attorney's Office." So if you have this on your record, it sounds like if you bought crack from the sheriff's office, which I'm wondering, well, how was it? How was the quality? Was the sheriff's office making some good crack? They say that there's a lot of people out there. The estimates have placed the number of cases involved to be as high as 2,600. So they arrested. So imagine they probably arrested twice that over crack that they made, and I don't know. I assume it was called Operation Crack is Not Whack. Operation Crack Pipe. My question is, why not just recycle the crack that you have at headquarters that you've confiscated in the 90s? I mean, it was everywhere in the 90s. I assume you had a plentiful bounty of them. Unless the officers were smoking that one. They smoked it all up, and then they're like, we better make our own here now. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking at that crack making.
When you check out at the pharmacy, you see the journey from idea to medicine, thanks to our intellectual property system, or IP for short. IP safeguards inventions, like a new way to prevent seizures or lower cholesterol. And IP supports competition from other brands, then lower cost generics, which are 90% of prescriptions filled in the U.S. Innovation, competition, lower costs, thanks to IP. Learn more at phrma.org/IP Works Wonders.
A Florida man was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend with a cheeseburger. Martin County, Florida. This Florida man was arrested after slapping his girlfriend in the face with a cheeseburger. Was it well done? I'm wondering. Crispy rim. What kind of bun was it? A soft potato bun, or was it one of those hard toasted white bread buns? The cheap kind. Melty cheese? Melty cheese could hurt your face as well, leave lasting scars. Let's dig into this story and find out what happened in this Florida man romance. The Martin County Sheriff's Office said that things between 30-year-old Florida man Kyle Jamison Jones, no relation to yours truly, and his girlfriend, unnamed, escalated when Kyle Jamison Jones, the Florida man, did not get his way. What is his way? Well, at BK, you can have it your way. Maybe they weren't at BK, but he still had it his way, involving a cheeseburger. Wow, it all comes around full circle in Florida. Deputies were called to his home by his live-in girlfriend. She was upset. She was just attacked by a delicious cheeseburger. They say that Jones's girlfriend told the police Jones abruptly woke her up by slapping her in the face with a tasty cheeseburger. The victim said the attack continued as Jones pulled her hair and kicked her down the stairs. Well, that's not okay. None of this is okay. Assaulting a woman in Florida who tries to love you. It's hard to find love in Florida. It's hard to find anybody who would love someone like Jones. Trust me, I know, I'm a Jones too. It's hard to find someone to love a Jones out there in the world. No need to kick her, throw her down the stairs, and then wasting a cheeseburger on top of it all. When the deputies arrived, the victim was reportedly visibly upset, covered with particles of the burger. I'm sorry. This poor woman was assaulted. But the way they wrote it up is she was covered with particles of the burger. Oh, man, they got CSI on the case. I wonder if they, circled all the particles of the burger on her face and head like they do when they find bullets on the ground. They circle where the bullets are. I'm sorry. God, man, the poor girl had pickle in her hair and cheese in her nostrils, probably. Little sesame seeds in her eyeballs. Jones admitted to the deputies there was a verbal dispute. He refused to say anything about becoming physical with the cheeseburger and the victim. Well, I mean, they don't need your opinion on that, sir. They found the pickle particles all over her cheeks, along with some other burger particles and residue, cheesy residue. Not to mention what kind of sauce was involved. There could have been a lot of sauce involved as well, which gets in your hair and your eyebrows. That's not fun. I particularly like ketchup and mustard on my burgers. But I'm not averse to mayo as well. Mayo's okay. Even I've had some barbecue sauce if it's one of those cheddar bacon ones. Put some BBQ on that. It's pretty good. Do you have a go-to sauce for your burger? I'd love to hear about it, but maybe not right now. It's inappropriate. There's a woman that's been attacked by a burger-wielding Florida man who's probably all hopped up on the drugs and drug paraphernalia. Okay, what's left of this article? It just says Jones was charged with battery and taken to the Marin County Jail. No word on whether or not they're going to try and work this out. I mean, you can get married at a BK, from my understanding, right? Oh. Well, I mean, I hope they squash this beef at the end. You know, I want to see love flourish where it possibly can in Florida because it's just so rare. You know. Lastly, I'll just say that the other night I was so high. I'm not gonna lie. I could have totally gone for a smash burger face slap with a side of onion rings. Hit me.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hello, my friends. This is your host, Jonesy. I want to thank you up top for joining me for this episode of Florida Friday, and I also want to thank all my listeners who have sent me Florida stories this week. Very helpful, and I appreciate that very, very much. I'm going to be performing this weekend if you'd like to see me stand-up comedy in the Southern California area. I'm going to be in Long Beach at 10 p.m. tonight at the Long Beach Laugh Factory. On Sunday, I will be at a cannabis dispensary / smoking lounge, very cool spot in Hollywood called The Woods. It's owned by Woody Harrelson, and it's a very cool spot. I will put the information on my Instagram at FunnyJones if you'd like to come on. Might be able to get you on the guest list at the Long Beach place, but not at The Woods. I'm so sorry to say. You'll have to buy a ticket. But it does come with, I think, something free to smoke, I believe. So might be fun. Might be fun. And, of course, I'm going to get a really cool cannabis goodie bag, which I'm very excited about. Last time I did the show, I got some really cool stuff. So really, really neat place, I have to say. I've been very pleased with the sort of cannabis dispensary / smoking lounges that have been popping up lately. I went to a really amazing one in Vegas when I was there last month, or was that the month before? Anyways, it's nice to see places like that. And people are starting to drink less alcohol and go to places like this where smoking lounges. And I kind of like that. I think that's really, really a nice option to have, at least, you know. Especially if you live in a place where you have to drive quite a bit, which, you know, Los Angeles, obviously I'm driving everywhere. And so, you know, it's not easy to, you know, limit yourself to just a couple of drinks so that you can drive home. You know, I usually want more. And oftentimes at my shows, I'm drinking for free, and that's not a good combination. So I would rather be given something to smoke for free, and then I can drive home sober. Sober enough, you know what I mean. Anyways, if you guys haven't subscribed to the show yet, please do. If this is your first time listening, not all the episodes are about Florida, only the Friday ones. So the Monday through Thursday, I do weird news from all around the world. Weird AF News is available on all podcast players and YouTube as well. If you would like to support the show and get something for Jonesy for the holidays, I would appreciate that. Just go to my website, weirdafnews.com, where you can buy me a coffee or join the Patreon. Or if you email me, I'll give you my address if you'd like to mail something. It's funnyjones@gmail.com. I really like coffee, and I like dark chocolate as well. And gold bars are pretty cool, right? I don't know if you guys, do you guys like gold bars? Yeah, not everybody does, but I'm into them. I shove them under my mattress. Pretty sweet. Okay, happy holidays and good luck with your life, man.